Deep in the jungle, far from any paved road, a massive wild bear is perfectly balanced on a small red bicycle, pedaling as if it's the most natural thing in the world. This skill wasn't learned in the wild. Years ago, as a cub, this bear was taken from the jungle and sold to a circus. For years, trainers forced him to master human movements, walking upright across high wires and balancing on narrow seats. While the bear lived in a cage, the crowds cheered for his performance. For a few minutes every night, he was the star of the show. But as public tastes changed and animal acts fell out of fashion, the circus simply loaded him into a truck, drove back to the jungle, and left him there. He was free, but he carried his training with him. Those unnatural human habits were about to make him the prime suspect in a very local crime. The real trouble started a few hours earlier, when a hungry monkey was scouting for bananas in a garden at the edge of the forest. He watched the man's daughter ride her red bicycle until her father called her inside for tea. The moment she parked the bike and ran for the house, the monkey dropped from the trees. After several attempts that ended with a bruised bottom, the monkey finally found his balance. He pedaled out of the garden and into the clearing where the animals gathered. He spent the afternoon showing off his new possession to the other animals, claiming he'd found it on a rubbish heap. When the bear wandered by and asked for a turn, the monkey agreed, expecting a laugh. Instead, the bear climbed on and pedaled away with professional ease, ignoring the monkey's screams to bring it back. The monkey's selfish prank had backfired. He had lost the bike, and he just handed the evidence of his theft to an innocent bystander. The bear coasted onto the road, so comfortable on the bike that he began waving at passing cars, just as he had been taught to do in the ring. But one of those cars was the man's pickup truck. From the passenger seat, the little girl saw her birthday present being ridden away by a bear. To the father, the situation was clear. His daughter's bike was gone, and here was a bear in possession of it. The bear's circus training had made him a target. By displaying his human skills, he had convinced the humans he was a common thief. The truck chased him, honking its horn. The bear realized the pesky monkey had framed him, and he pedaled harder to escape. He crested a hill and began a high-speed descent. The road didn't curve. It led straight toward a cliff overlooking the ocean. At the very last second, he slammed the brakes. The bear tumbled onto the road, but the red bicycle skidded over the edge and disappeared toward the waves. The truck stopped, and the little girl shouted at him through the window, crying because he had ruined her birthday. The bear could only whine back, his defense unheard and ignored. He walked back to the jungle, alive, but carrying the weight of a child's tears and a crime he hadn't actually committed. Back in the jungle clearing that night, the bear confronted the monkey. He didn't have the bananas the monkey expected. He only had the news that the bike was at the bottom of a cliff, and its owner was heartbroken. The monkey went quiet. He hadn't intended to make anyone cry. He asked the bear if there was any chance the bike was still on the rocks, and the two formed a plan to get it back. They returned to the cliff at dawn. The monkey twisted thick jungle vines into a rope and shimmied down the rock face to where the bike was snagged. He tied the vine to the frame, and the bear used his circus-trained strength to haul the heavy metal back up to the road. By combining the monkey's agility with the bear's power, they had turned a selfish theft into a collaborative rescue mission. They pushed the bike all the way back to the man's house. As the little girl and her father came out onto the veranda, they saw the animals waiting by the gate. Before leaving the bike on the grass, the bear and the monkey stood side by side and performed a deep, highly theatrical circus bow. The father stood frozen on the porch. That bow, the specific sweeping way the bear moved, was a gesture he hadn't seen in decades. He realized he was looking at the same animal he had cheered for under the big top when he was a boy. The bear that once performed for a young boy had returned from the wild to bring a gift to that boy's daughter.